everybody, it's time to LOL. Listen out loud, that is. It's time for Anime Jam Session with DJ Ranma S, Mako-chan, and Ari Rockefeller.
Hey everybody, welcome to Anime Jam Session, episode number 654. We are that podcast talks about anime, games, conventions, the fandom, geek stuff, and everything in between. I'm DJ Ranma S.
I'm Ari Rockefeller.
And I am Mako-chan.
And besides the obvious, how's everybody doing tonight?
I'm really friggin' tired.
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm kind of feeling that too, but to cover a couple of things real quick, I decided it was in the best interest of, since today's election day and there's a lot of stuff that's going on, it would be great for us to go live. That way, those who are participating with us now, you have like about 90 minutes away from the bullshit and the drama and all of that. That would be great, you know, get away from that for a while, chat with us, participate with us, and enjoy the next 90 minutes. And yes, I am wearing the sticker that says I voted because it is my civic duty. So if you believe in change, you got to do something about it. So, and I'll just leave it at that. So now that we got that out the way, let me pull up my outline here. You would think doing this for over 5+ years, I would have the intro friggin' memorized, but this is me you're talking to. So I just want to let y'all know that we are live tonight, week of November 5th, 2024. Jesus fuck, where did the year go?
Hard to say, really.
I know. And we're live right here on Twitch TV. We're here live Tuesdays from 9 to 10:30 p.m. Eastern. You will always find us here at Twitch twitch.tv/AnimeJam. We're also proud to be part of the Voice of Geeks Network at vognetwork.com. And they're also on Twitch as well. You can find them at twitch.tv/vognetwork. They kick things off Sunday nights at 8 with the Bobby Blackwolf Show, followed by Orange Lounge Radio at 9, and then we round out the programming day here at Anime Jam Session. That's a pretty good thing, don't you think? And as 15 Tabby Cat says, the older I get, the shorter the year. I'm feeling that. I am so feeling that.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But come hang out. No, don't forget to come hang out on our Discord, vognetwork.com/Discord. Every show that's part of the Voice of Geeks Network has a channel, so come through, hang out with us, and at least we still have the pool open because it's indoors. So it's it. And that's that. And now that we got that out the way, we're gonna go around the room, ask everyone how was their week, how was your day. So Ari, how was your week and how was your day?
Mostly work-related stuff.
I
know it hasn't been very, what's the word I'm looking for? Interesting. I mean, the check, my paycheck cleared today, like the other day, so, and I'm already putting that towards the mortgage.
Well, that's good.
And I can confidently say that I only have about like one more trip maybe to my old place to get any stuff that I have remaining. And then I'll be able to just, say goodbye to it permanently.
Well, that's good. That's very good.
I basically just have to get wall hangings and whatnot.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Posters, pictures, clocks, disc plates, that sort of thing.
It's interesting that you say that because, trying to figure out my little space here, and I discovered that the guy next door to me, he has his TV mounted, soundbar, all of that. So I was like, did you talk to the landlord? Or he's like, you know what? My cousin came through and took care of it. All he does is collect the rent. That's all that matters. So I'm like, okay, bet. So my plan of action is going to be above my TV here. I'm going to put hopefully a shelf that can handle about 25 to 30 pounds. I want to put my Xbox and PlayStation up there. That way, I'm actually more for Xbox. That way it's kind of out the way when I'm moving around and I can get access to changing out the discs and stuff. And the guy that was in here before had like those 3M hooks. Evidently, one of those 3M, my LTT Pro hoodie was too heavy for the 3M hook. So now I am looking to actually mount actual hooks up against the wall, up against the door there, so I have a place to hang my towel, washcloth, hat, and my jackets, something like that.
Speaking of which, now you brought up wall hook. I actually did install a hook on the wall by the front door.
Oh, there you go. Well, see back.
I know it doesn't sound like much, and I posted pictures of it to our private chat, but I'm not very handsy, not handsy,
hands on.
Hands on. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a better way of saying it.
Mm-hmm.
So you know that shtick where like someone's like, there's a bad cook tries to cook, and it usually ends with something burnt or the house or kitchen on fire.
Kind of, sort of.
That's the kind of thing I feel like when I try to like do stuff like that. Like I'm afraid I'm like going like, oh, okay, what's the worst thing gonna happen? Like, and a nail just goes like that direction.
Ari, let me tell you something. My old apartment was like that. I mean, I mounted stuff, and it wasn't even half the time because nothing in the house was actually level, so I just made it fucking work. There are holes in the wall where I had screws and stuff, and I moved it around. I'm like, fuck it, let them deal with it because the place is...
I mean, I did also buy a level/stud detector, as well as a new cordless power drill for myself.
Right.
For things to do in the future.
No, I get that. So probably tomorrow, actually maybe tomorrow, I'm gonna actually get the proper measurements for that door so I can get a mount hooks wide enough to fit right in the middle there. I already know the measurements for above the TV, and I'm going to put 3 like support sticks. I'm not taking any chances, Originally, what I wanted to do was put like 3 large pieces of wood behind the TV and just have a large piece of plywood on top, and it would sit on the dresser and put the consoles that way. Because at least I know if it's like that, there's a lot more support. But I'll figure it out one way or another. I would love to put the TV higher and have the console sitting. So, anyway, please continue.
No, that's about it, really.
Okay.
Again, I'm sorry I'm not all that interesting this evening.
That goes with all of us, so I wouldn't even worry about it. You're here now. Mako-chan, how was your week? How was your day?
Okay, I guess.
That's good.
Yeah, just trying to still recover from last week. I went from convention to concert to Halloween, and then tried to sleep this weekend away, and it didn't quite work.
You know how the saying goes, sleep is for the weak.
Yes, but I like sleep.
So, my weekend day is basically one and the same. I mean, me and Mako, we went to see Cyndi Lauper on her Girls Just Want to Have Fun Farewell tour, and that was pretty cool. I enjoyed that. Ran into a couple of coworkers, this past weekend I hung out with a friend. She wasn't feeling too well, so I'm like, you know what? I'll come hang and kind of help you clean up the place and all that stuff. So there's that. And for the record, if I'm hanging out at your house, I start washing your dishes and sweeping, just let me be. That's just me helping out. That's all. I just come to realize, it works because we all have crazy lives. We're always busy. It's always good to have someone come by like, oh, let me take care of that for you, It's the little things. That's basically has been my weekend day. Oh, I did get a couple of packages sent from at work, so I'm happy about that. So now, did I talk about the think last week I did talk about the issues with the Kickstarter for the Dirty Pair, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Why did you receive yours yet?
No, not yet. But like I said, all right. To summarize, the first wave of backing stuff was sent out. It was shipped to my old place about a month and a half ago, and I had no clue. So
That's not good.
yeah, I reached out to them and to explain, I moved. This is my new address. Please send it to my job. And I got an updated invoice that said they're going to ship everything out. So I was like, great, that is awesome. Thank you so much. So I haven't gotten that old package yet. So I'm just waiting. So I'll deal with that later because they have my current address and so that's basically has been um our weekend day. So I want to give you some at what? Oh, I hit the wrong button. That's what I did. It wasn't supposed to go back to the top of the scroll. It's supposed to go to the next level on the scroll. And on, behave. Again. There we go. The interesting thing is the rundown, as I like to call it, is coded properly and it works with a Stream Deck. I don't have a Stream Deck. I have an AverMedia Live streamer, so I gotta like fiddle with it here and there. So that's all that needs to be noted. So I'll give you a bit of some housekeeping news, and Cedarberry apologizes for being late. Oh, dude, you just got here on time. You're good. So just grab your usual spot. We kept it warm for you. We'll let you know that episodes of our podcast are available on YouTube. YouTube.com/Anime Jam Session. Click on playlists and you'll see Anime Jam Session podcast. The VODs are there, and they are there Thursdays at 12 noon. So definitely check them out. And it's perfect for those who want to subscribe to the video feed and you want to check out much older episodes, because we have episodes going back maybe about 2-3 years. So definitely check them out and have fun with those. I want to let you know updated with Fans View Friday. For those of you who don't know, my friend Wisteria does a Twitch stream called Fans View Friday, where every week she will go through the Internet Archive and pull up Kevin Lillard's website called the Fans View, and she will go through the photos and discuss the cosplays and so forth from an older time of conventions and all the fun stuff that we did. And this week she is doing Anime Weekend Atlanta 1997. So if you want to see some classic cosplays and hear tales of yore and all that good stuff, which I truly enjoy, I'm probably gonna stick around. I'm probably gonna be up for that. So head on over to twitch.tv/WisteriaWT. That's WISTERIAWT. And now that we got that out of the way, we're going to talk Geek Roundtable. This is the part of the show where we talk more about the geekier aspects of our life and other cool stuff that we've been working on. So, Ari, what you got for a Geek Roundtable?
Well, another one of my Kickstarter benefits came in today.
That's good.
I backed Shuffle Up and Play, which is a Magic Magic Commander series on YouTube that's hosted by the professor at Tolarian Community College, and this is one of the things that they get. It's a little coin.
That's cool.
Yep, season 3.
That's cool.
Just my luck, it came in white and red. And there were other color combinations available, but I had to get that.
Okay. What other color combos did they have?
Shit, I don't know off the top of my head.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, I blanked on that.
It happens. I ain't even worried about it. It's all good. All right. Mako, what do you got for Geek Roundtable? I see one of your fandoms are on display here.
Yeah, I thought this was fitting for tonight.
I can see that. I really can.
Yeah, so part of my extensive pop collection is Robin Hood from the Disney animated film. That is my favorite Disney animated film. And probably the reason why 90% of the people that are into the furry community or in the furry community.
Mm.
Yeah, so that's it.
What am I going to do with you?
What? It's the truth. Just 90, just like the movie The Mummy made like 90% of people buy.
Mm.
Because, I mean, you gotta admit, there are a lot of very good looking people in that movie.
I mean, you're not wrong.
I think you need some water.
What?
I'm just saying, I think you need some water.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'll have a sip of my water and you go on to explain whatever you have.
All right. So, as you all know, there's a reboot of the Ranma one half. It's not a reboot of the anime. It's basically, I guess, a remake. It's like what Sailor Moon Crystal was. Basically, a proper retelling of the manga in anime form. And what's really surprised me is how popular it is. I mean, I've been seeing advertisements for, merch in Japan, all these collabs and so forth. And I thought this is really cool shit. So, and recently there was a couple of magazines that came out where they discussed Ranma one half, and in it were interviews with the voice actors and other cool stuff. And now, as you know, if you are near like a Kinokuniya or Asahi Books or basically a Japanese bookstore, you can get the magazines here. One of those magazines is New Type. That's not hard to get a hold of. The other one is called Da Vinci Magazine. Now, I knew if I go to Kinokuniya, I could get my hands on New Type. But Da Vinci was one I wasn't too sure of. So, I spoke to my friend Cheyenne. Her Instagram handle is blanking out at the top of my head. I think it's Nagoya Pancake that she goes by. I reached out to her asking if she could get me these magazines because she too is a big fan of Ranma one half. And lo and behold, did. So, in this little package here, which, by the way, arrived in 3 days. I guess because of the cost of shipping. So, here is Da Vinci Magazine. We have Ranma and Akane on the cover. And Ranma's like, WTF? And Akane's kind of leaning into him. And in this New Type, which is covered by a cross, which is wrapped wrapped like a bundle because there's bonus stuff in here. We have Ranma on the cover, just leaning with his arms up behind his back, and Akane looking perturbed, holding a bucket of cold water. So, my next goal is to find magazine size sheet protectors and bag and tag these. And what's funny is, one of my coworkers wanted to know what it was, so I explained it, and she goes, "Do you know Japanese?" I'm like, "Not really. I know a few key phrases, but that's just about it." And she goes, "Well, how are you going to read the interviews and stuff?" I'm like, there are fans that are out there that will go ahead and translate the interviews, which they're probably doing as we speak. So it's just a matter of time before they're translated fully, and I can definitely check them out. So I'm not too worried about them. Because right now, if I go looking, they're just summaries of the interviews. So that's all that really matters. So enough about that. We got through our Geek Roundtable. Let's get into tonight's stories. First story is about Death Note. We talked about this, I believe, a couple of weeks ago about an upcoming Death Note video game. So there's a personality test that helps you to choose your Death Note character. Ari, can you go into a little bit more detail about that?
Yeah, the game is called Killer Within. Players will be given the option to take the roles of L, Kira, or their respective investigators or followers in a battle of wits and deduction skills. To help gamers prepare, the company is releasing a unique personality quiz designed to help players determine if they should work to eliminate L or seize the Death Note. Per Bandai Namco's official website, the Death Note Killer Within Personality test consists of 13 questions to help gauge whether players are more suited to the role of the hero or villain. By answering agreed or disagreed to questions like things go better when I'm calling the shots and I'm the best my friend group but noticing small details, players will be categorized into one of 4 different player roles: L, Kira, Investigator, or Kira Follower, all of which have distinct objectives in the game. Bandai Namco has also unveiled a new gameplay trailer, which can be viewed here on the article. Participants are divided into teams headed by either L or Kira. As L, players issue orders to investigators and utilize special abilities like Meeting Guide to help figure out the identity of the Kira player. As Kira, the players must steal IDs and complete other deductive tasks to pick out L from the opposing player group and eliminate them. Kira can also choose to judge any of the investigators' players if they discover their true names. And Kira can swap the Death Note with Kira followers if they suspect their identity has been discovered. As an investigator, a player's primary role is to get command cards for L, in addition to watching out for suspicious behaviors from other players. On the other hand, Kira followers must help Kira by aiding in their theft of IDs and earning command cards for their side. Killer Within is their first attempt to translate the story of Tsugomi Oba, the writer, and Takeshi Obata, illustrators, iconic psychological thrill into a multiplayer social deduction game. Initially released in December 2003, Death Note revolves around high school prodigy Light Yagami, who believes that certain people should be exterminated for the benefit of society. One day, Light stumbles upon the Death Note tool that the Death Gods use to take human life. Now armed with the power to kill anyone by simply writing down their name, Light, known to the world as Kira, embarks on a demented quest to eliminate the world's criminal population and rule it as its new god. And meanwhile, Master Detective L quietly watches Light's movements and becomes obsessed with the idea of bringing the elusive killer to justice. It's quite popular.
This video game is Among Us.
That does kind of feel like what they're going for. Either that or maybe this would make it like a really good board game.
I mean, it probably would make a pretty good board game. Almost, I don't know, Clue-like in a way. But just reading the description, I was like, this sounds like Among Us. Which isn't a bad thing. But I can see it having some, I guess, the same kind of issues that people have now with it, and trying to lie convincingly.
Besides,
although if they're doing that questionnaire before a round, then
there's no way people aren't going to try and game the results to get the role they want.
Yeah, but also it's just a suggestion. Who knows? Maybe when you get into the actual game, it might not even have those questions, and if it does, maybe a totally different set. Because we've all done like those practice examinations. Then when you take the actual examination, you're realizing, oh wait, I don't know these questions. But then you realize you kind of have a general idea of how to answer.
Well, yeah, I mean, just like the sorting hat questions and crap like that, you can always finagle things. But for people that don't like being quote unquote it gives an easy way to get out of that too. It doesn't sound like it's going to be just everybody's name in a hat and a couple of names picked out. So I mean, that itself might make it a little bit easier, but at the same time, it could be something like Dead by Daylight, where everybody wants to be the killer and nobody wants to figure things out. So cheating is horrible.
I will
But
say this about Death Note: the best cultural impact that it's had is all the other fictional detectives. Gauging all the other fictional detectives as to whether or not they'd be able to crack the Kira case, and or you know figure out the mechanics of the Death Note.
well, it's not just cracking the case because L did, he knew who Kira was. He just had no proof of it.
Mhm.
So it's not just cracking the case, it's having to actually come up with the proof of that.
Although the fandom at large seems to agree that Columbo would have the Kira case solved in like one episode.
I could see that
No,
There,
I see that
in a
probably
way.
being like a season ending and then beginning next season 2 episode combo.
like, one more thing. Who's that gangly fella you got floating around behind you? Oh god, that impersonation was terrible.
Well, I think you tried. I think that was a pretty good idea. So
Yeah. So, I mean, it could be a fun game. It could be a pretty fun game if it comes out over here.
Yeah, I think this is gonna be sort of like a wait and see how it plays out. Like the new Demon Slayer game that came out, Sweep the Board. It's just seems like Mario Party with swords, something like that. Something like that. Anywho, all right. Ari has said his piece. He has to jump out because, like the rest of us, he too has to work, but he has to get up much earlier than the rest of us do.
4 a.m. and my body still hasn't recovered from the fallback.
Woo.
So, good night, everybody. I
All
will
right.
see you later.
You got it, man. See you next week.
Mhm.
So switch things over to 2 play mode. So we got that going. Now let's see what else do we have here on the docket tonight. We're gonna talk about an industry veteran who crowdfunding efforts after being robbed, and this person in question is Jan Scott Frazier, a dear friend of mine who I've recently gotten to know over the last year and a half, and she has wowed and amazed me with her knowledge of the industry and stories that she has told. And the thing is, she hangs out with us almost every Thursday night. And in the last few weeks, she hasn't been around due to her health issues. We were all worried. Evidently, Thursday while I was out at a Halloween party, she popped into our group chat and just let people know that she's doing all right. But now with this article up, at least we know exactly what the heck happened. And I was kind of surprised. I was like kind of worried. And the thing is, I had thought that we already did a crowdfunding for her, but this was for something totally different. So to let y'all know, this GoFundMe that popped up last week was to help pay for her assisted living costs because somebody stole her remaining cash and it put her $6,000 in debt. You bastard! How dare you steal from somebody? And where she's living now, her rent is $4,000. But at the same time, she has entered an intensive care unit due to her health, and she's going to be in the hospital for about a month till things kind of get better. And as of this time we were discussing the article when it first came out, they hit maybe about a little bit under half their goal. I'm going to go check right now and see how things are going. And wow, they're at 95% of her goal, and I'm very happy to hear that. I truly am. Now, she did launch a GoFundMe back in August to get into an assisted living because she now requires round-the-clock nursing and staff support. She had been in the hospital for the entire summer. Well, not almost the entire summer, but for the majority of it. And because of all of her issues, she couldn't live in her townhome anymore, so assisted living, here it is. That campaign raised $15,000 of it, and with over the base grant of $12,000, which is really cool. voice actress Amanda Wynn Lee, as those of you know, is Rei Ayanami from Neon Genesis Evangelion, and Yukiko from Persona 4 previously launched a crowdfunding campaign for her back in January 22. This was for medical problems to get things going for her, which I think was really good. She needed an oxygen. She was ejected from the kidney donor list, so she needed an oxygen concentrator to. Basically, she needed one. The one that she had either had to be replaced or needed to be fixed. So that broke through the crowdfunding goals, which I'm really happy to hear about. Rage has worked in the anime industry in Japan for 13 years under a number of different positions, including as a producer. She joined Artland's production department back in 1989, making her the first foreigner to work in the production department of any Japanese animation studio. In 1992, she founded her own production company called Tao Corporation Liquidations in Bangkok, Thailand. In 1994, she co-founded Genesis Digital Publishing Company with Izumi Matsumoto, who is the mangaka of Kimogear Orange Road, where they created Comic On, the first digital manga, which is great. That's some cool stuff. She became the president of Production IG USA back in 95 and worked as a producer and technical director on the Japanese side. She was the technical director of the animation for Grand Stream Saga, Maru Monogatari, and the Kyoshin Senkei games, as well as working on the Panzer Dragoon OAV. As a freelance director, Frazier directed episodes of Suzy Chan and Marvy and worked on the development of the original TV series project. After returning to the States, she founded a non-profit voice acting project called Voices 4, which is really awesome. And I think I will be home this Thursday, not going anywhere, because I've been relaxed this weekend. I've been ripping and running it last several weeks. I kind of need to relax, reorganize my room, put stuff away and start going through more stuff and start tossing stuff. So I'm hoping that she does pop into the stream, into our chat on Thursday. Can I give us a heads up of what's going on? So there's that. And again, I totally forgot to update the rundown, so it should be kicking in right about here. And so now we're gonna kick it over to another story about Castlevania and Takarazuka. Mako?
Yeah, I was actually kind of excited to hear about this.
Mm-hmm.
So, obviously Takarazuka is an all-female review.
Mm-hmm.
Puts on original plays, adaptations, various things like that. Next year, the Castlevania video game is going to get the Takarazuka treatment in a brand new stage adaptation. It's going to be titled Castlevania Awakening Under the Moonlight. The stage adaptation tells a brand new story set in the universe of the hit game series. The review's Flower Troupe, currently led by C. Tawaki and Misaki Bushizora, will perform the show. So it's going to premiere June 7th at the Takarazuka Grand Theater in Hyogo Prefecture. It's going to run until July 20th. Then it's going to run in Tokyo at the Tokyo Takarazuka Grand Theater from August 16th to September 28th.
That's cool.
Into Takarazuka, they do sometimes have them streaming if you sign up for everything. So this might be something that somebody, is looking to look into.
Yeah, I kind of wish I got a chance to see the Takarazuka review when they were in the U.S. years ago, when they did Chicago. I knew people that flew out just for this,
I would have loved to have seen that.
I was like, oh, you lucky bastards, Maybe it'll happen again. Maybe, if we're lucky.
I mean, that would definitely be nice for them to,
Mm-hmm.
you hear Broadway tours all over the place.
Yeah.
Outside of the country, inside of the country.
Mm-hmm.
I think it would be really good for the more stage aspect of media to be able to tour from other countries to here, just, just like our shows do to other countries.
Yeah. And I think this time, if Takarazuka does come back, it should be at the PlayStation Theater, which is right there in Times Square, because the Sarah Miu went there and it was basically sold the fuck out, And they did, I think they did like 3 or 4 performances, I think, over the weekend, something like that. So,
well, they did 2 performances in New York, and then
I know they were in DC first the weekend prior, I believe.
Yeah, it was 2 performances in DC and 2 performances in New York.
Okay, yeah. Or if they hit New York first and then they went to DC afterwards, so something like that.
No, it was DC first.
Okay, all right, cool. All right, got you.
That's why they were almost out of crap.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't think they realized just how many people were going to not only want something for themselves, but for a full list of crap from other people demanding that they buy it for them.
Yeah, that was fun. I really enjoyed that. I kind of wish, I took pictures of a lot of people there, and a couple of people I'm friends with. Others it would have been cool. I had fun with that. Anime live action anime bringing the nerds together as one.
Mm-hmm.
All right, now speaking of anime bringing together as one, we're going to talk about what Netflix has been doing. It seems that they're being Scrooges, and by Scrooges I mean not paying out what they should be. Now, Netflix's practice of not paying royalties, irrespective of an anime success, has resurfaced in a new report by the AJA, the Association of Japanese Animations, and is comprised of 40 full members and 52 associate members. The AJA opted for reference, but not specifically a name, an example of a global distribution provider that provides no additional royalties irrespective of an anime success. The admission came from the AJA's report submitted to the Japanese government's Agency for Cultural Affairs, which conducted a hearing with stakeholders about appropriate compensation in the digital transformation era. While it may not be limited to just Netflix, which also offers its own evidence of how it's helping the industry at the same hearing, they did confirm its use of a flat fee model recently as of last month. Crunchyroll has been said to provide royalties using a minimum guarantee model, but did not respond to Comic Book Report, who we're getting this article from, confirmation regarding that. AJ added that the global distribution provider is only willing to pay a licensing fee as flat fees. It continued that even if the work becomes a hit on that service, rights holders get no additional distribution. In many cases, sufficient marketing data such as viewer demographics is not disclosed. Due to the flat fee structure, rights holders cannot conduct royalty audits. A royalty audit is defined as a check to see whether royalty structures are appropriate, as per Shimada CPA, Certified Public Accountants. Netflix corroborated with this practice in its Q3 earnings call back on October 17th. CEO Ted Sarandos said, "Look, we like our model and talent likes our model. It's so much more impactful for our business and we can make our films, our shows just a little bit better and so much more impactful than making them a little bit cheaper." Bella Bajarja, CCO, Creative Officer of Netflix, said that this very clearly a couple weeks ago to all the talent agencies. We're not changing our compensation structure. He added paying up front, something that Netflix actually pioneered, benefits creators and benefits Netflix. So for creators, Netflix takes all the financial risks so they can focus on making the best possible version of what they're working on. And for Netflix, that model enables us to attract best talent in the world. Now, all that said, we should have been and we should continue to be, and we are open to be more bespoke deals with talent and is interested. Now, they rarely happen because typically the talent chooses the upfront model. So we think that we have the right model and we're not looking to change it. Overall, Netflix want to be a bunch of cheap-ass bastards. Basically what they're saying is, instead of paying the voice actors, the producers, the directors, a certain percentage for every time an episode is streamed or so forth, they want to give them, here's a flat fee for everything, and go about it. And we're doing this because we're taking the risk. I understand without risk, there's no reward. I mean, look, if Netflix is taking a risk on a project, pay for everything, and it gets produced, they air it, paying everybody. Turns out this is on the top 10 for weeks. Residuals and monies are definitely coming in. There are people who are subscribing to Netflix just to watch this series. If it's like that, then you know what? They should get, the people behind it should get some type of residuals for it, you know? Like, this series has have over 150,000 streams, you know? Here is a check for $1,500 for the week, this and that. It's something. Now, I do understand that there is an alternate model where buying physical copies of it brings money in at a time, or renting it, or distribution on television and connecting it with ads and so forth. That last part is still happening now because now Netflix has an ad model available. So there is more money coming in from those ad revenue streams. And as I've said before, it's not cheap to do a streaming service. I know there are people who are bitching that if YouTube starts charging for 4K streams, people are going to cancel. Let me be real with you. About 90% of the stuff that's on YouTube doesn't need to be in 4K because a bunch of y'all are watching it on your small screens anyway. So what's the friggin' point? Hopefully, other companies like High Dive, Crunchyroll, Amazon Prime, maybe somebody new will pop up and be like, you know what? We want the rights to this, and we want to give you all a cut every time this is residuals and so on and so forth. I fully believe that there's going to be a company that's going to come out and do that. They're going to give back to the fandom, give back to the people that worked on it, because there's a lot of people who say that they will bootleg stream anime because they don't give back. But I can tell you that they do. Well, but for some, it's just not enough.
It's very gray.
Yeah.
Because if Netflix is going to license something that they did not have any part of, there is just the licensee, you know, it's not like like for Japanese anime.
Under that, if Netflix just licensed it and it's already said and done, whoever's licensing it should be paying out those who are involved.
Right, but that's the whole problem with the anime industry in Japan. Yeah. Which is why there are people that, you know, are doing amazing shows and still making pennies. That it's very much a gray area, and I think the fairest way would be for there to be a hybrid of sorts.
Yeah.
Anything that is coming in from out of the country or that Netflix is not actually creating, something that they are just strictly streaming, one shot and done. Here's your bulk payment. You know, we're gonna stream this and, you know, there's no issue. That's it. If it's something that Netflix actually is doing something with, and they're the ones hiring, you know, the producers and the directors and the actors and all of that, that is when I think Netflix really does need to go, okay, you know, for something like this, we don't know how well it's going to do. So we're going to say, once we meet, you know, once we get back our money and what we are expecting, then we'll split the rest of the profits.
Seems legit. See, I'm okay with that. That I'm okay with. My main thing is making sure everyone gets their fair share of the pie.
I mean, I definitely. I mean, I understand, with some of the series that Netflix is putting on, some of them are doing really well and some of them are not. Um, so I don't think Netflix should have to lose out just because that means that there would be less money to put into other projects.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I'm not talking about, Netflix president or anything like that, because the Netflix president is, not getting the money that's going back into the projects. He's
Mm-hmm.
getting paid one way or another.
Yep.
This is strictly for the work that they are doing through their own production companies and crap like that. I think that way, having that, ability to say, hey, we made back what we want and now we're going to, provide for you, is, I think, the fairest way to do things.
I actually agree. Like I said, as long as everyone gets their fair share, sort of like a participation trophy of sorts, have something to show for it. All right, now that we've discussed that, we're going to talk about something really cool. Now, those of you who watch Toonami Aftermath, you probably know what we're about to talk about. If not, Mako's going to tell you.
Yeah, so Interstella 5555 is going to be heading to global cinemas in a 4K remaster. So this was a 2003, I guess, anime movie that
Mm-hmm.
Daft Punk did all of the music for. So it's called Interstella 5555, the story of the secret star system.
Yep.
And the 5555 is actually S's for Story Secret Star System. So that was Daft Punk teaming up with late manga and anime legend Leiji Matsumoto, who also did Galaxy Express and Captain Harlock. This is an anime visual album, and it features Kazuhisa Takanouchi directing and Toei Animation producing. And it is coming back to cinemas around the world in 4K. What this is, it's, basically, they haven't exactly announced how it's going to be, what theaters are going to be playing it or anything like that.
Right.
The tickets are going to be released and available starting November 13th. The screening date is December 12th. And it is the story of the abduction of an alien music band by an evil human character who has dark plans. It's an hour-long film that was, and so it's an hour-long film cut into music videos to accompany Daft Punk's album Discovery. And obviously it's, from 2003.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not exactly, out there, well known at this point. Beyond the screenings, there will be a limited physical release of a Discovery Interstellar Edition album. It's going to feature the original Japanese artwork, stickers, and a Daft Club card. It's going to be released, including a gold vinyl edition.
Ooh.
To 5,555 copies. Numbered CDs, limited to 5,555 copies. And black vinyl, which is going to be 25,000 copies. So there's also going to be limited edition merch featuring the animated band at the heart of Interstella 5555. And then the full collection is actually going to be available on the Daft Punk online store.
In a way, I kind of want this. Keyword kinda.
I definitely want this.
I will say this. From the website, the CD is sold out. The gold pressing vinyl is sold out. Everything else is available.
No, it's not. Right now,
Oh,
almost everything
I
is
just
sold.
double checked. Everything is practically sold out. Maybe they'll restock. Maybe we'll get lucky.
I don't know. And I don't see the
Oh
regular
right, yeah, the 5,555. Yeah,
I don't see the regular album listed either. Just the gold edition.
yeah. Plus, this article is about a week old, so you know.
Well, yeah.
I just said this to my friend Diana. She's a big fan of Daft Punk. I wish I had paid attention. I would have sent it to her like a few days ago. Be like, oh, take a look at this. But it wouldn't be surprising if this all sold out day one.
Oh, it definitely sold out.
Yeah. And
There is no doubt in my mind that it sold out day one.
I bet you some of it's on eBay. Bet you.
Yeah, the pre-order might be because it's not even shipping until December 13th.
All right. Well, that does that. Yeah, that hasn't stopped other people before. I mean, I have seen. There's always been pre-order. I like when the consoles came out. There were people pre-ordering them, and then they were flipping the pre-orders on eBay. Like right now, that gold album, which is $55, somebody is flipping it for $199.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
Somebody is flipping, yeah, the CD, the pre-sale CD, which is $20, $100. The normal album, the non-gold one, is going for $200, $100. Okay, I will say.
don't even see the option for the normal album.
I'm looking at it right now. New listing, brand new. See, honestly, a double album like that for 110, personally, I probably would purchase that. Probably. Then again, I think I spent like what, $55 on the Sailor Moon vinyls. Probably, I think I spent closer to 80 because it was import and import fees and so forth. Yeah, and I just told my friend, she's like, I saw about that. I'm like, sadly, it's all sold out and jacked up on eBay. And now that we got that out the way for the time being, let's get into basically our last story of the night. We're going to talk about the Transformers mobile game. I've played one of them for Xbox, which I actually have. Funny story, my old roommate bought the game because it said it had two-player action. Now, as you know, in this digital age, most games that have two-player action is online only. So he basically just said, I don't want the game anymore here. So I played through it and I had a blast with it. So it seems that Chinese game developer Wanda Cinema Games announced that they and Hasbro have joined forces for a new mobile game based on the Transformers franchise called Transformers Eternal War, coming out next year. The game will feature 3D character models and battle scenes and a brand new storyline. Wanda Cinema Games describes the game as follows. Experience the thrill of Transformers like never before in Transformers Eternal War, a new idle RPG You could see I am rolling my eyes so hard about that now. Idle RPG adventure. Relive the excitement and glory of Transformers with classic characters, iconic locations, and storylines. We've recreated your fan favorite deals, from familiar faces to unforgettable sound effects, adding a new layer of depth to the universe you love. Transformers Eternal War introduces innovative combat mechanics and a gripping new story. Assemble your team of Autobots and Decepticons and unleash powerful abilities and new combats. The battle rages on. Answer the call. Transformers 1, which I didn't see in theaters. I will wait for that to hit streaming because that really looks good. I've heard nothing but good things about that. The new animated film prequel to the Transformers franchise opened in the US on September 20th following another delay. The film was initially announced for a July 19th opening before being delayed for the first time on September 13th. The film also opened up in Japan on September 20th. The film earned $25 million in its opening weekend, landing number 2 at the box office, and the film earned $3.36 million in preview screenings the night before. Transformers Rise of the Beast, the first film in a planned trilogy for its live-action Transformers franchise, opened in June of 2023, almost 1 year from its original June 2022 release date. The film got released in Japan in August of 2023 under the title Transformers Beast Kakuse. Me, I think I saw that. I think that took place. They had it take place in the 90s, and it was Optimus Prime and the Maximals and the Predacons. That was a really good film. And for those of you who don't know, an idle RPG. Idle RPGs are those games where you don't have to do anything really. It's point, click, and it does its thing, and it automatically battles and levels up. You just kind of tell it to do this and do that. It's just, you don't have to put much thought and effort into playing these games. It's like a time killer when you're just basically watching stuff render or you're waiting through a meeting or something like that. So that's basically idle RPGs.
Yeah, you go in like 2 or 3 times a day, gather all your energy,
Mm-hmm.
and then wait for it to fill up again.
Yep. And for cutting room floor, the Berserk anime gets a steelbook release. So it seems like every time that anime comes out, is available on sale on Amazon, it sells out right away. So it's going to be a steelbook of the 1997 series through Crunchyroll. And it's going to be coming out at the end of the month, and it'll be on sale for $59.99. I have not watched Berserk. I know one of the games came out for Dreamcast, and it was pretty interesting. I think it was called Sword of the Rage or Guts of the Rage or something like that. Anywho, enough about that. We're at the part of the show that y'all really stick around for and like to hear. Meanwhile, in Japan. So we have 3 stories. There's only 2 of us. So, you know what? I think I will pick one here. I'll take the second story.
Really? All right, then I'm going to take the first one.
I had a feeling. That's why I took the second one, because it just seemed like you would take the first story over I would.
Yeah, so I know everybody has heard about this, but
Yeah.
the Vatican has an anime mascot.
Our Loose is an awesome Loose.
Yeah, so Loose is an attempt to form connections via the pop culture so beloved by our young people. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So the Vatican, as in the governing body of Christianity, they unveiled at a recent press conference Loose, who will serve as the official mascot of the upcoming 2025 Jubilee, a periodic year of forgiveness during which the faithful are encouraged to make pilgrimages to places of historical significance, most prominently the Vatican, St. Peter's Basilica in Italy. By Luce, whose name means light in Italian, is wearing muddied boots and a raincoat, with the coat's bright yellow hue being a nod to color scheme of the Vatican City flag. Yeah, so obviously this has caused quite a number of interesting memes.
Sorry, something got caught in my throat.
The Luce's look is obviously inspired by the aesthetics of Japanese comics and animation. The character is actually designed by an Italian illustrator, Simone Legno, who's best known for the Tokidoki lifestyle brand.
And there it is.
Yeah, so, and it's not just Luce. Luce has, a whole host of friends with her. And I'm not seeing any names for the other friends, which, oh, so nice.
So,
but has a dog named Santino. And yeah, I love this quote. I could never have imagined that I would bring my humble artistic contribution, pop culture, kawaii culture, to the holy see.
I expect them to announce a Luce anime sometime next year. I see that happening.
It wouldn't surprise me. It isn't actually the first time that Christianity has used an anime-style artwork. However, most of that is in Japan. So in addition to promoting the 2025 Jubilee, Luce will also be making a trip to Japan to be part of the Vatican's pavilion at the Expo 2025 World's Fair that is scheduled to open in April. So Gundam and Luce will be able to meet themselves. And won't that be interesting?
No. Gundam is not the one. Gundam is not the one to meet Luce.
Oh no, Gundam and Luce are gonna meet, and then that's gonna create Eva.
Just one dream. Because let's be real, people have already done it. Luce looks like Rei Ayanami.
Yes.
And I haven't seen it yet, but somebody has already did the fan art of Luce looking like Rei Ayanami, and instead of holding a walking staff, it's the spear of Longinus. Just remember, y'all, Luce died for your sins.
Boy, vi.
So you're saying you're pretty fly for a rabbi?
Sure.
Okay.
What I am looking forward to are the inevitable cosplays.
Oh, the cosplays, the Rule 34s, and the looting of it. It's going to happen.
Yeah, here's like I'm just going through some people's idea on Luce. This one says Luce, the Vatican's mascot for 2025. Did they mean Lucifer?
Wow.
Yeah, so
well, Alucard's number is up. And I see the where he says, "Magical girl lose." Oh God! Instead of a magic wand, it's a cross. Lose meets Shinchan. That's all you, Mako-chan. That's all you. That is all you.
Oh, that would be
Oh
interesting.
God.
That would actually make a very interesting crossover.
The funny thing is, you ever watch Teen Titans? You know,
Uh,
you know how Starfire, sort of like the lost one, doesn't understand customs and idioms and so forth.
mm-hmm.
I see Shinchan pulling some wild prank on Loose and has no idea what he's doing.
Uh, that's potential.
Mm. All right, so anywho, our next story of the night is about DJs and Japanese preschools. Shaping young minds is no easy task, so preschool teachers are always on the lookout for creative ways to spark curiosity in children. In Japan, one preschool is shaking things up by taking traditional education and saying, "More turntables, please." Huh. Enter Nabebe Shokai, who recently stumbled across a listing for a DJ on Timey, a popular Japanese app for short-term part-time jobs. The mission is to show children the coolness of DJs and the wonderful world of music. Okay, I can get with that. Arriving at the preschool, the baby was warmly welcomed by the staff and introduced a fellow DJ. Together they set up their gear and prepared to blast out an exciting mix of tunes for the kids as a back-to-back set where each DJ takes a turn playing one or more songs before handing it over to the other. From children's classics such like Anpanman March to the infectious beats of Bling Bang Bang Born, as some even of his favorite Vocaloid tracks, and the kids were bursting with enthusiasm, dancing freely to every song, even ones they didn't know. While Nabebe was the second DJ to visit, the first was such a hit that he now returns weekly as the school's resident DJ. According to the principal, Masayuki Ihara, the kids put in 110% effort in dancing and exercises, especially with the DJ there, and they're always asking when he'll come back again. That's cool. DJs too have shared how much they appreciate the kids' enthusiastic reactions to every tune. All began about 7 years ago when Ihara was a principal at Minami Shimbara Bunka Preschool in the city of Minami Shimbara, Nagasaki Prefecture. Then Ihara invited a DJ friend to visit, and the kids were instantly captivated. They loved the sounds from the turntables to flashing lights, and especially the chance to touch the equipment themselves. Ihara moved to his current role at sister school in Nishijin Bunka Preschool in Fukuoka City's Sawara Ward. He wanted to keep the fun going. Conversation with some of the kids' fathers then set everything in motion. They talked about showcasing hobbies and skills and giving kids a chance to see adults doing unique things, leading to the creation of events like this preschool rave. Okay. With a background in the restaurant industry, as well as a brief stint considering his own talent agency, Ihara has a unique take on childcare. Entertaining. He believes parents shouldn't be forcing children to learn or trying to live vicariously through them. Instead, adults should be showing children how they are growing and developing and do fun activities together. Recognizing that the staff may lack certain skills, Ihara has taken to recruitment agencies to invite performers such as ballet dancers and other skilled artists to engage with the children. To further enrich their experiences, the preschool also organizes monthly outings to museums, theaters, and other cultural venues. That's really cool. Ihara's preschool is all about inspiring curiosity and showing the children that learning can be a lifelong adventure. For some, these moments can simply be joyful memories on the path to adulthood, while for others, they may be seeds of a future full of discovery and new possibilities that they might have never dreamed of. So while it's yet to be seen if these ideas will catch on, Ihara's preschool is devoted to changing children's futures one preschool disco at a time. That's awesome. That's really awesome. I love that. That's why I call giving back. Right? Now that we got that out the way, let me bring this back over and let me fix the TV. There we go. It's time to wrap things up and get things going because It is a little early. Today has been a hectic day. I think it's best that we kind of wrap up and go our separate ways. Plus, there is an adult beverage sitting behind me with my name on it, because it's been that kind of a day.
I feel that.
Yeah, and I was just checking things. I'm just like, yeah, I think I'm going to start drinking, so. If you like tonight's show, tell a friend. They in turn will tell another friend, and so on and so forth. We're independent bloggers, independent podcasters. So what we like and don't like, we're going to straight up tell you. So if you have any questions about the show, drop us a line at podcast@animejamsession.com. Again, that is podcast@animejamsession.com. We're here to believe you. And don't forget to check out, drop us, all right, I already said that part. Whoops. It has been that type of night. Don't forget to check out our podcasts available on various podcasting apps such as Anchor FM, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Yahoo Music. And what's cool is some of these apps have the ability to allow you to leave reviews. So if you can, leave us a review. We'd like to hear what you think. If you don't have time to shoot an email, leave a comment. We'd love that. And don't forget to check out our website, which is animejamsession.com, where you'll find not just our weekly podcast, you'll find convention reports, cosplay interviews, cosplay tips and tricks, anime reviews, editorials, links to our YouTube and Facebook pages of anime and cosplay and convention coverage. All that and a lot more at animejamsession.com. I am looking to changing up the websites. And our social media pages. Follow us on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. It's Anime Jam Session. Follow us on those so you know when we're going live, when we have new stories, new episodes going up, all that and a lot more. And for those of you who follow us on our socials, thank you so much. We really appreciate you. We really do. And down below, if you participate with us right now, is our tip jar. There are links below that leads us to our Stream Elements, Streamlabs, and Ko-Fi. And if you want, you can cheer us on with bits, or you can also sub to the channel and give out gift subs. All of that is really cool, and we truly appreciate that. Which reminds me, I need to do something real quick, and well, I'm kind of short on funds, so let me just drop that in there for right now, so we're golden. So there's that. So now we're gonna go around the room. Last words, Mako-chan.
I want a quesadilla.
My last words. It's gonna be a long night. That is it. End of list. We'll be back next week with a brand new episode. If things are going, Ari will be here. Barry will be here. We'll all be here. Will you be here? We're hoping too. So that's it. We're gonna get up and out of here. So I'm Ranma.
And I am Mako-chan.
Great fight, great night. See you next week.
Good night.
Say goodnight, Mako-chan.
Good night, Mako-chan.
Perfect. Awesome. We're out of here. See you next week.
This podcast has been a production of Anime Jam Session and AJS Productions. No fanboys and fangirls were hurt, maimed, shot, electrocuted, or pistol whipped in this episode. For now. The views, opinions, and thoughts expressed on this show do not reflect the staff or the network as a whole. But we're still right, damn it. For transcripts of this episode, start typing. Check us out at animejamsession.com and vognetwork.com for more information about us and other programming. Jamatane!